The story of King Hezekiah and the shadow on the sundial. In the days of King Hezekiah of Judah, the land was filled with turmoil. Surrounded by the powerful Assyrian Empire and burdened with the struggles of a sinful history, Judah was in constant need of strong leadership and faith in God. King Hezekiah, though imperfect, was a righteous ruler who sought to turn the hearts of his people back to the Lord. One day, the king fell gravely ill. His servants whispered anxiously in the palace halls, for it seemed their ruler would not recover. The prophet Isaiah, a man chosen by God to deliver his messages, came to Hezekiah with somber news. "Set your house in order," Isaiah said, "for you shall die and not live." Hezekiah's heart sank. The weight of his responsibilities to Judah, combined with the fear of death, overwhelmed him. After Isaiah left, Hezekiah turned his face to the wall and wept bitterly. He prayed with all his heart, saying, "O Lord, remember how I have walked before you in truth, and with a loyal heart, and have done what is good in your sight." As Hezekiah poured out his soul before God, something remarkable happened. Before Isaiah could leave the palace courtyard, the Lord spoke to him again. "Return to Hezekiah," God commanded, "and tell him, 'Thus says the Lord, the God of your father David, I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. Surely I will heal you. On the third day, you shall go up to the house of the Lord, and I will add 15 years to your life. I will also deliver you and this city from the hand of the king of Assyria. And I will defend this city for my sake, and for the sake of my servant David." Isaiah hurried back to Hezekiah's chamber and delivered the incredible news. To reassure the king, Isaiah instructed the servants to place a poultice of figs on Hezekiah's boil, as a sign of God's healing. But Hezekiah, desiring further confirmation of this promise, asked for a miraculous sign. "What sign will the Lord give?" Hezekiah inquired. "That I shall go up to the house of the Lord on the third day." Isaiah replied, "This shall be the sign to you from the Lord. Shall the shadow on the sundial go forward 10 steps, or shall it go back 10 steps? Hezekiah considered carefully. "It is an easy thing for the shadow to go forward 10 steps, he said. "Let it go back 10 steps instead." Isaiah prayed to the Lord, and God performed a miracle. The shadow on the sundial of Ahaz moved backward 10 steps, a phenomenon that defied the natural order and proved God's sovereign power over time itself. Hezekiah's faith was strengthened, and he rose from his illness as God had promised. True to his word, the Lord added 15 years to Hezekiah's life. During those years, Hezekiah continued to lead Judah with courage and devotion to God. The miraculous reversal of the shadow on the sundial became a testimony of God's mercy and faithfulness, reminding all who heard of it that He is the God of both life and time. Thus, through the faith of King Hezekiah and the mighty hand of God, Judah found hope in the midst of despair. And the shadow on the sundial remained a symbol of divine grace for generations to come.